That's it. Okay. So yeah, get my note. So we're going to come to, I mean, unfortunately, hopefully you can see most of me here. So I'm going to go this way. So we're going to go towards the front edge of our mat and come into with the feet separate and about hip width. Okay, so I'm really close to the wall. So I was trying to get as far away from the camera as this room would allow, so it doesn't chop my head off. So, but you probably won't need to look too much at the camera, sorry, at the screen. Okay, so I'm going to come right into the wall. So we're going to start off in Tadasana, so you can grow your spine here. Allow your arms to come down by your side. And connecting with the breath. So I'll just put everyone into silent. Hold on. Yeah, we're all there. Okay. So we're going to connect with the breath. Do feel free to work with the diaphragmatic breath in this session. So it's like allowing the breath to come down fully. Okay. But it will demand more breath, the sequence. So you might find that you do need to work at lifting the breath as well up towards the lower ribs, expanding sideways. You doesn't need to be too conscious of breathing, but we'll see how we get on with that. So we're going to start off with some sun salutation. So I'll lead that through the first 2 times. So with the eyes open, exhaling, we're going to bring the palms together into Namaste. Inhale, we're going to sweep the arms up as best as the room allows. Exhale, we're going to float forwards, bending the knees slightly into the thighs, folding into the sides. Inhale, take your right leg back, coming down into a low lunge. Exhale, swing back and up. Up into dog pose. Inhale, coming down into all fours. Then we're going to go through the 8-point pose, which we've been doing quite a lot of over the last few weeks. Coming into Bhujangasana, which you can lift up from the forearms. Exhale, release down. Inhale, all fours. Exhale, dog pose again. So we're going to be using dog pose quite a bit to create some strength through the upper body. Inhale, step the right foot, long step forwards. Exhale there, inhale, step your left foot forwards. Exhale, fold into your legs. Inhale, bending the knees, coming up, if you can, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, back into Namaste. So we're back where we started. So we'll do the same thing on the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding into the legs. Inhale, now the left leg goes back to the low lunge. Just a pause there. Exhale, sweep up into dog pose. Lengthening through the sides of the body, grounding the palms. Head in line with the upper arms. Inhale, all fours, coming through 8-point pose. Into Bhujangasana. Trying to stay on the palms in Bhujangasana. Gaze drifting up. Exhale, release down. Inhale back to all fours. Exhale back to dog pose. Lining up your ears with the upper arms, allowing the heels to descend. So it's a long step forward with your left foot. Exhale, inhale, right foot. Exhale, falling into your legs. Inhale, sweeping the arms up as best as your space allows. Exhale, Namaste. That was one on each side. We'll do that again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding into your legs, softening the knees. Inhale, right foot goes back into the low lunge. Breathing there. Exhale, sweep back into dog pose. Separating the feet, hip width. Inhale all fours. We're going to go through the 8-point pose. Keeping the palms where they are if you wish. Coming into Bodhiyoga-25, tops of the feet on the floor. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale all fours. Exhale, dog pose. So you can lengthen from the palms through to the sitting bones. So a long step forwards with the right foot. So we're doing right forwards, right back. Step your left foot in. Exhale. Into your legs, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, namaste. Again on the left side now. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, folding into your legs. Inhale, low lunge, left leg goes back. Coming onto the fingertips, the gaze drifting forwards. Exhale all fours and up into dog pose. Breathing there. Inhaling into all fours. Exhale, inhale through 8-point pose. Coming into Bodhiyoga-25, do feel free to come forward into the forearm. Long from the pubic bone to the throat, gaze drifting up. Exhale, release down. Inhale all fours. Exhale, dog pose. Another left foot, long stride forwards. Inhale, right foot forwards, separating the feet, hip width, releasing into your legs. Inhale, sweeping up, arms up. Exhale, namaste. So we'll just do one more time on each side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding into your legs. Inhale, right foot goes back to low lunge. Gaze drifting forwards. Sense of a long base. Exhale, all fours into dog pose. Allowing the heels to drop down. Engaging your legs. Upper ears in line with upper arms. Inhaling into all fours. Exhale, releasing through. 8-point pose into Bodhiyoga-25. Again, you can keep the palms where they are, gaze drifting forwards and up. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale all fours. Exhale, dog pose. Step the right foot forwards. High lunge now. Exhale, inhale, left foot forwards. Exhale, inhale, arms come up. Exhale, namaste. Last round on the left side. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, foot into your legs. Inhale, the left foot goes into the low lunge, left leg into the low lunge. Gaze forward, long base. Exhale, all fours into dog pose. Breathe there. Coming through all fours, 8-point pose, following your own breath. The gaze drifts up. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, all fours, exhale. Dog pose. Inhale, high lunge, left foot. Exhale, inhale, right foot forwards. Exhale, folding into the legs. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, namaste. I did plan to do 8 cycles there, so we're going to do one more on each side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding into your legs. Inhale, right leg goes back. Low lunge. Exhale, all fours through to dog pose. Inhale, all fours. Now through 8-point pose. into Bhujangasana. Lifting away from the floor, long to the front of the body. Exhaling, releasing down. Inhale all fours. Exhale. Dog pose high lunge with the right foot. Exhale, inhale, left foot forward, turn, release into your leg. Inhale, sweeping up the arms, long arms. Exhale, namaste. Okay, this is, now the last one. Inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, folding. And soften the knees. Inhale, left foot goes back. On the fingertips, low lunge. Exhale, all fours. Into dog pose. Upper body, lengthening through the upper body. Bringing the ears in line with the upper arms. Inhale all fours. Coming into Bhujangasana. And if you want to keep the hands where they are, that's fine. Keeping the elbows in. It's a little bit more intense. Keeping the hands where they are. Lifting up away from the floor. Tops of the feet on the floor. Exhale, release down. Inhale all fours. Exhale, dog pose. Take a long step forward, left foot. Gaze forwards. Right foot comes forwards. Exhale, folding into your legs. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Whatever your space allows. Exhale, coming back into Namaste. Taking a pause there, Namaste. Generate some heat. Even if it's already quite warm. So from here, I'm going to step to my right. So I'm going to be stepping so I'm facing you. So you may want to step to your left. That's fine. And then we bring both feet parallel. Bring the hands to the hips. So we're going to go into a little standing sequence based on there's a sort of vinyasa krama to this. Okay, so as a sense of building up. So I'm going to turn my left leg out fully 90 degrees. So if I was going to bend the knee, it would just simply fold. Okay, we can check that. Taking the left arm up, reach up. Keeping the right leg straight. We're going to bring the forearm to the thigh. So we're into Shalamba Pajvakonasana. We can look down here. You can explore lengthening the base. Taking your right arm up. So it's fine to look up. And maybe across. You can explore taking the arm straight up or across the forehead. The gaze can be up, or it can be down, or it can be forward. So I'll let you play with that. Breathing there, grounding through the back leg, so the back leg firm. And then on inhale, we're going to sweep up and switch sides. So the right leg turns out. Bringing the right forearm now down to the right thigh, if you're doing that side. Left arm is going up. Again, you can lengthen the base of the pose. Doing what's sensible with your neck in terms of the gaze. I'm keeping the hands slightly active. Sense of spreading the palms, lengthening the fingers. So the whole upper body is involved with this. It's like an active broadening across the shoulders, across the chest, between the shoulder blades. On an inhale, come up. Exhale, step back to the front edge of your mat, Namaste. Take a pause there. Sense of lengthening through the spine, towards the crown, growing your spine. Keep the arms, the hands in Namaste. So a sense of broadening the upper back, space between the shoulder blades, at the same time as releasing the shoulders. So just to keep this simple, I'm going to turn back
to the same side. So I'm going to turn to my right, but if you want to turn to your left, that's fine. So we'll go a bit similar distance to what we've just done. Again, bring the hands to the hips. Okay, so we're going to take this one step on now. So the left leg goes out fully 90 degrees. So you could fold the leg quite easily without the knee falling in or out. Take the left arm up and come to Shalamba Pajvakonasana. Adjusting the base, but looking down this time. So I want us now to take the hand to the outside of the foot and bring some weight into the fingertips. So if that's a long way to go, then you could use some bricks. Bring the fingertips down to some bricks, okay? As I'm illustrating here. And then again, we'll take the arm up, the other arm, and maybe across. Come into Pajvakonasana, the classic shape, Uttita Pajvakonasana. The idea is to keep the left leg back towards the left arm. So you're keeping a sense of opening across the left groin, breathing there. Back leg straight and engaged. And then the lifting arm is like an extension of that back leg. It's sometimes called intense lateral angle pose. On an inhale, we'll come back up. Just discard these bricks. Come back up and hands to the hips this time. Squaring the feet, turning them to the right side. I can see I'm going to run out of space here, so I'm going to keep my top arm just going straight up. So the right arm lifting up, coming into Salamba, Pajvakonasana first. Keeping the gaze down to begin with, okay? Then the right hand comes to the outside edge of the foot. Again, you can use bricks if that's appropriate. And then we'll bring the top arm across. This time I'm going to go straight up to avoid meeting the wall. So the gaze can go up or down or forwards. You can explore that. Keeping the back leg firm. And the idea is to keep a sense of opening over that right groin. Breathing now. Taking the breath. We're going to be a bit more intense, the breath. These stronger poses on inhale. We're sweeping up using the top arm. And then on the exhale, carefully coming back to the front edge of your space. Back into Namaste. Feet parallel and separate. Sense of drawing yourself up through that center line. The hands together. Sense of broadening across the tops of the shoulders. So having the hands in this position just brings a little bit more action and awareness into the upper body. Okay, sense of lengthening through the thoracic area towards the crown. Sense of lifting the chest and broadening the chest. And again, just for sense of visual, I'm going to turn again to my right side. So you feel free to do the same. So if you're switching back, taking a wide stance, we'll bring the hands to the hips. So this is another version of Pajvakonasana, but it's where we take the arm round the leg. So you'll see, so turning the left leg out. Again, checking there's going to be just a simple fold, important. So we're not overloading the inner knee or the outer knee, simple fold. Taking the left arm up, in my case, bring the left forearm down, first stage. So what we're going to do now is take this left forearm round underneath and then take the right hand back and see if we can connect. Take hold of the wrist, the right wrist with the left hand. So it's going to be challenging this. If that's too strong, then you could just bring your left hand to the floor, but on the front edge of your foot rather than the back edge. So we see then about turning the chest away from the floor. Obviously, it's more demanding on the front leg as you're not doing any support with the weight here. Opening, I suggest you look down. I mean, you could look up, but then like balance is going to become a real issue. Well, you're just balancing on the feet here. There's no hand support. Breathing. Okay, releasing the left hand down, using yourself to come back up with the right arm, turning the feet to parallel, square, hands to hips. Take a pause there. I'm going to talk this through on the opposite side so I can just see what's going on. Okay, so you're going to turn your right leg out and your left foot. So remembering just it'll be a straight fold at the knee. Let's check what's going on there. Okay, so your right arm goes out, come into Shalamba Pajvakonasana. So you're just supporting yourself first on your thigh. And then the idea is to slide the arm behind you and take hold of, it'll be the left wrist this time. That's it, keep breathing and then use the, as it were, the pressure of the upper arm against the inner leg to turn the chest. I suggest you look down rather than up, but you could try looking up, just it will get tricky on the balance. Breathing there. That's it, so it's an intense pose this one, strong on that standing leg. We're going to bring the right hand down to the floor, to the front edge of your foot, and then use that hand to draw up, left hand coming up. Pull yourself back up carefully, back to the front edge of your space. Coming back into Namaste. Growing your spine, crown lifting, feet separate about hip width, even a bit wider. That's a broad base. Growing your spine, shoulders softening, neck releasing. Okay, from there, release the arms down to your side for a moment into Tadasana again. Tadasana, still growing the spine, not collapsing down into your legs, a sense of lifting up. So we're standing tall. I think it's the best way to describe this. Okay, we're going to again, so I'm just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to step to my right, but do feel free to alternate. So you can step to your left. So I'm going to stick to my right, a little bit shorter stance this time. Hands come onto the hips. And we're going to turn the left leg out again. So it's a shorter base. But we're going to keep both legs straight this time. So left arm comes up. And I want us to rotate the pelvis to the left. Or pivot out to the side if you like. It's like a lateral pivoting action. Tipping the pelvis to the side. So we're coming into triangle shape. Looking down there, extend your other arm up. So we're broad across the chest, long through the spine, looking down. Just to make it easier on the neck, we're going to keep looking down now because we're going to be coming into a balancing pose in a moment. And from there, inhale coming up, bending the front knee to help. Hands to hips, turn to the opposite side. Right arm coming up, extending up. I'm now pivoting to the right side. My hand coming down to the shin, towards the ankle. Both legs straight. Looking down, left arm lining up with the right arm. So I do suggest you look down here. Okay, so that'll serve for the next pose. Both legs active. Breathing now. Both legs straight, so you can feel how this feels different on the body particularly on the pelvis, having both legs straight, not having the front leg bent. So always consider these poses more demanding, triangle pose on the pelvis. On an inhale, bend the front leg, drawing yourself back up. Okay, then we're going to turn back to the other side, hands to hips. So the left leg turning out. So yeah, we're going to have a go at, it's actually the full moon today, but we're going to have a go at the half moon. So it might be helpful to have some bricks. So I've got some bricks forwards of my left foot. Okay, so you might want to use those, okay, for your balance, if you've got them at hand. We're going to take the left arm up. Again, pivot out to the left, coming into the triangle shape. This time, keep your right hand down and bend the front leg. And then it's like you allow your left hand to drift out behind you and forwards. So you can plant your left hand down onto the bricks or onto the floor. And then we bring the back leg in and float the back leg up, straightening both legs. Coming into this balance pose. Once you've got a sense of a solid base, the pelvis is open, standing leg is firm, then think about taking the top arm up, okay? Breathe there. I suggest you keep looking down. Keep looking, I'm just going to see what's happening here. Yeah, do look down. So with Saskia, I just see a hand. Okay, so try and lift that back leg a little bit more. And then to come down, you're going to bend the standing leg, carefully drift back to triangle. Doesn't need to be like a perfect triangle. And then swing back up. Okay, hands to hips. If you're using bricks, take them across to the other side of your mat. This is really, I'm going to run out of space here. So I'm just going to move forwards, back to the back edge of the mat. So right hand going up. So I'm going to the other opposite side now, tipping out. First position, triangle. And then it's like bending the front leg and allowing the right hand to drift out and forwards. And then gently launching yourself up. Emphasizing grounding the right leg. See what's happening there. Keep looking down. So yeah, the brick is really helpful for this pose. I mean, it can be fun to practice without equipment from time to time. Taking your top arm up, once you've got a sense of a steady base. Activating that lifting leg, so you're projecting out to the lifting leg. Very open pose. To come down, we're going to bend the standing leg, gently dropping down, carefully coming back up to center, and then again back to the front edge of our space. Bring the hands into Namaste, and then growing, sense of growing a spine. So still there's a sense of like alertness in Tadasana, not collapsing down. Drawing yourself up. I've just been noticing the last few days we've had this like really, just a lot of heat, which is, yeah, it's just what it is. It's not great in some ways for the plants and everything, but too much. But I've just noticed I'm spending all day basically lying down as close to the floor as possible. So yeah, that's partly why I wanted to do a class a little bit more upright. There's a sense of lifting up. Okay, so your palms together, lifting up through the crown. Fortunately, this time of day now, it's cooling down. Okay, hands dropping down to your side. You can step out again. So I'm just going to keep going to my right, just for the sake of the camera. Again, a narrower base. And this is going to be challenged. Let's see how we get on with this. Okay, so we're going to turn out to the left again. Narrow base. So it's going to be the same pose, but we're going to try binding the standing leg. Okay, left arm goes up and reach out to your left. Bend now the left leg. And then I want you to swing your left arm round the back. See if you can take hold of your right wrist. And then just see about bringing the back foot in and lifting up to a balancing pose. No, it's not going to happen. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So just come back up to the first pose, too ambitious. And release down, swinging back up. Is that a really bad idea? A really bad idea. Come to your right side. Let's just see what happens on the right side. Okay, right arm going up. So we're coming out to triangle on the right. Okay, bringing your right arm around the back of your right leg if it's possible, and then see about swinging up. So walking the back leg in. Oh, it's just not going to happen. That's a completely mad pose. Okay, releasing out, coming up into the more classic shape without the bound arm, and releasing down. Swing back up, and carefully back to the front edge of your space into Namaste. Okay, so we'll forget the bound leg version. Drawing up there into Tadasana in Namaste, drawing the crown up. So now we need to bring your feet together into touching. So the inner feet are touching, inner edges of the feet are touching. Lengthening through the spine, bringing both hands onto your hips now. Turning your left leg out, coming into tree pose on the left side, Vriksasana. I'll just turn to face the camera there. This is going to be very doable. Bringing the hands again into Namaste. Opening across the groins, particularly on the left side. If you want, taking your arms up, full length. I'm going off screen now. But taking the arms up, you can either bring the palms together across the thumbs, or have the arms in line with the shoulders, growing the spine, or some people like to bend the arms and like hover the Namaste over the crown. Kind of gentler version. Breathing. And when you're ready, releasing down. Okay, so we'll just go straight into the other side. So feet together. Taking your right foot out. So if you're teaching beginners, you can just teach them to rest the heel onto the left ankle and then work from there. And then the next step is the foot to the inner calf. And the third step is foot to the inner thigh. Palms together, Namaste. Looking for a point somewhere fixed. Taking the arms out is one possibility, or taking the arms up. Finding your arm position. Growing the spine. Extending through the whole length of your body from that grounded foot through to the fingertips. And releasing down. Releasing the feet again separated by hip width. As you then inhale, take your arms up. Gazing up, exhale, folding into your legs, softening the knees. Inhale, walk back both feet now into the dog pose. And come down into all fours. Tops of the feet raised, facing the floor. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Coming into cat-cow. So as you exhale, you tip the pelvis back, looking back. And as you inhale, tip the pelvis forwards, looking forwards. So a gentle movement of the spine. See if you can get the whole of the spine involved with this. Space between the shoulder blades as well. reconnecting with the breath. Exhale, drawing yourself into the center line. Inhale, lengthening through the front of the body. Okay, from this movement, on the inhale, next inhale, taking the gaze forwards, and then on the exhale, we're going to pick up the left shin with the right hand. Inhale, reach out now, left leg, right arm. Exhale, swing back in. Same side, left leg being cut by the right hand, extend out, and repeat 5 times. Exhale, back into all fours. Inhale. Exhale, now we're going to pick up the right leg, left hand. Inhale, reach out. So we're just switching sides, keeping the whole thing quite dynamic. Reaching out from the center, cupping the right knee with the left hand. So we're drawing yourself up. Five cycles. Exhale, coming into all fours. Inhale, cat cow. Back into cat cow with the exhale. Tucking your toes under a swing back into dog pose. And we're going to pause in dog pose for a moment. So again, checking your alignment. So the ears in line with the upper arms. Allow your weight to drift towards the outer edges of the hands. Sense of your neck long. And the heels just floating over the floor, but there's a sense of them wanting to move down to the floor. So I want you to bring your feet together now. And then reach back with your right foot. So it's like you're projecting your right leg back as though it's an extension through the arms, through the whole body. This will bring the heel, the left heel foot closer to the floor. And then switch to the other side. So right foot down, left foot reaching back. The sense of the body long from the hands through the pelvis to the back foot, lifting foot. Inhale, now coming into all fours. So we're just going to take a pause into child's pose. So you can rest all the way down. Let your forehead rest for a moment. Let the upper arms relax. Let the weight be heavy, just for a moment. Inhale, extending your arms. And then come back to dog pose, but this time separating the feet as per usual, like hip width. So what we're going to do here is move through chaturanga. It's like a one-legged chaturanga. So I'll just talk it through. It'll be fairly obvious, right? So you project your right leg back again, trying to keep the pelvis more or less level. And what we're going to do is dive forwards. Inhale, touching down all the way to the floor. Okay, so if that wasn't very clear, just look what I'm going to do on the other side. Okay, so I'm from dog pose, feet separate, left leg goes back and up, and then I dive forwards. So I'm resisting the fall, as it were, touching down to the floor in one go. So I'm not really staying in the pose. It's like a dynamic movement, okay, down to the floor, back to all fours. So we'll try that 2 or 3 more times on each side. Let me just see what's happening here. So you come into dog pose, project one leg up, your right leg, for example, and then you like lower yourself down towards chaturanga, keeping that back leg lifted, and then drop to the floor. There's no pausing. It's like a continuous dive down, back to all fours, and try again on the opposite side. So it is quite strong, but it's because we're not holding, it's kind of more doable. So you're diving down and then coming to the floor. So there's a moment of intensity as you just hover over the floor. Or it may be the sensation of like collapsing down to the floor. So we'll just do one more time on each side. Okay, inhale, coming down. And yeah, that's it. And to the second side. Inhale, coming down. And release. Coming back into all fours. And then thread your arms through your legs, coming into child's pose. Again, this time with the arms through the legs. So you've got that gentle pressure on the outer arms, completely surrendering to the floor there, to the pose. Okay, so from here, coming up into all fours again. So we're going to do some preparation now for Pincha Mayurasana. So it would be helpful to, the first position. We've done this before, okay? But we might have even done it quite recently. So we're going to, I'll just show you. So we make a triangle with the forearms. And we touch the index fingers, but cross the thumb. So we make a triangle on the floor. Okay, so this is the first position. So you're coming, it's like you drop to your forearms and lift up into dog pose with the legs. So we'll just try that for a moment. The head is not on the floor, so this is really important with the forearm balance, that the head is free from the floor. So you may have to just lift a little bit the head, maybe, okay, depending on the proportion. Okay, then releasing down. Second version is to start to separate the hands now. So I'm going to use a brick. So my index finger is on the outside of the brick and the thumb is underneath, or it could be a book. So just it kind of obliges the hands to start to separate, okay? So once again, pressure through the hands, through the wrists, through the forearms, through the elbows, and lifting back into preparation for forearm balance. That's sometimes called dolphin. So you're lifting back is where you sometimes can encounter restriction in the shoulders and the shoulder blade. Okay, and then releasing. Great. So discarding the brick, the third version is forearms parallel, okay? And then when we come to do the full forearm balance, you can choose one of these three. So forearms parallel. So this is where I find I really need to bring attention to keeping the wrists and the palms grounded because they want to drift in towards each other, okay? So I'm just allowing weight to go into the palms, coming up again,
Actually, my elbows are slightly wider than the shoulders. So you could play with that, wider, narrower, in line with. It's really hard to straighten the legs here. It's kind of enough just to get that backwards pressure from the forearms towards the feet. Again, the head is off the floor, but it can be intense around the neck and the shoulders, and the head. Just pose again and releasing down. Take a pause there. Okay, so the next position is I'm gonna use the wall. Okay, now if you don't want to do that, just repeat one of the positions we've just done, whereby you just choose one of the hand positions and you don't kick up. But if you are going to kick up, then do use a wall. And what you want to watch out for is not being too far away from the wall, so you go into a really deep back bend. Okay, so maybe I'll just demonstrate once. Let's see what happens here. So I'm going to bring my mat right into the wall, my fingertips right into the wall, and I'm actually going to choose the thumbs crossed position, which was the first one we did, which in some ways is the most stable for the upper arms and the arms, shall I say. And then I walk in, and then I kick up a couple of times, and then use the wall to get the support, pushing away from the floor. Once you're up, it's actually easier than the preparation. Okay, the head's off the floor. To come down, just bend the knees and release. So let's just see how we get on with that. And I promise to do this before the end of July, so here it is. If you haven't got a wall space, then be careful. I wouldn't bother, actually. I can't, let's see what happens. Then you can just report back. Oh yeah, I can see some legs flying up there. Okay, Rebecca, did you have how is that, Rebecca? I'm just thinking about your neck, you know? No, you're not going to do it. Okay, that's fine. And I can see Saskia is, interestingly, yeah. Great. Once you're in it, the work is to ground through the same grounding through the elbow, forearm, wrist, palm, finger bases, fingers, and push down gently. But in some ways, it's less intense on the shoulders themselves on account of the angle. So it's easier to lift out of the shoulders from this position than from the dolphin position. Then you can gradually work at lifting one foot away from the wall and then the other one. And then at some point, once you've got enough confidence in terms of kicking up and balancing, you can move away from the wall. But when you do start to do that, make sure there's no objects around. Otherwise, that you can fling over and crash into something, okay? Which we don't want to do. Okay, so we're gonna come down to the floor now and just have your feet. So we're going to change gear a little bit now. Have your feet out in front of you. And make like a kind of fairly broad triangle. So it's like or it's not a triangle, it's a triangle on each side. It's more like a diamond shape. Okay, and we're going to bring the flesh of the buttocks back, connecting in with a slightly slower sequence now. So extending your arms up and allowing yourself to fall forwards into, sometimes it's called diamond, or if you take the arms underneath your legs, depends what flexibility allows here, it's sometimes called tortoise. So I'm bringing my arms forwards on top of the legs, allowing myself to fall into a forward fold. Okay, so it's naturally quietening
Lengthening the back of the body. Breathing here. Releasing the neck, releasing the face, allowing gravity to weigh the body forwards. And just connecting in, I haven't really emphasized this at all up to now, but just connecting with a sense of the emotions, your mood, whatever's going on, recognizing that. Connecting with the breath. Okay, and then on an inhale, very carefully restacking your spine. And if you can, we're gonna bring the left leg underneath, coming into a shoelace. I just wanted to do more of like a grounding sequence. In terms of bringing the energy down into the pelvis. So the right leg is on top, left leg underneath. I'm just going to let the hands come out to the side here. Once again, connecting with the spinal column. Sense of centering over your spine and lengthening towards the crown. Breathing, allowing weight to drop down through the sitting bones. If your spine allows, if your pelvis allows, we're going to allow this to move into a forward fold again. So you can bring your hands forwards, slowly lowering yourself into a forward fold, allowing gravity to take you forwards and down. So it will be more intense on the pelvis. If that doesn't work for you, stay in the upright position. Surrendering forward bend. And then using an in-breath to gently restack the spine. Regrowing your spine and releasing your legs out and folding up on the opposite side. So you're, well, in this case, my right leg's underneath, left leg on top, wriggling to get sitting between the feet, starting off in the upright position, growing the spine. So just slightly actively lengthening now. And then once again, exploring a forward fold. Okay, so it's true that the Mayurasana, the peacock pose, is a bit of a tend towards a back bend. So I just thought here a bit of calming forward bending. So as much as your body allows, if you can support your head. So I'm resting the head on the knee, but you can actually use some supports if you have them at hand as well. You want to bring the floor up to you. That's also possible. So we're deliberately doing a quietening sequence now. It's allowing the energy to cool down, that will rest down. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the face, releasing the neck. As the pose allows you to release forwards, you can dispense with the support if you're using it. Allow yourself to come more forwards. Following again an in breath, gently restacking the spine. Okay, and then I'd like you to come down onto your back. Okay. And just one more hip opener here. But this now with the spine, as it were, flush to the floor as much as possible. So you're going to float your feet out, sometimes called stirrup pose. So we bring the hands to the inner feet. So actually what I find is my sacrum tends to lift here, which is fine. So I'm just trying to allow as much of the spine to be on the floor as possible. Sometimes you can also do this where you take hold of the big toes as well. Okay. So find if I take hold of the big toes, I can allow the sacrum to drop more freely towards the floor. The knees drifting outwards and down to the sides of the body. Releasing the neck. And then from there, releasing one leg, releasing the other leg, coming into semi-supine for a moment. So your spine really now in a more neutral shape, neutral feel. And we're going to come into a resting pose. So I'd like us to use the wall again and some support underneath the sacrum. Essentially, what I'm going to suggest, if you use the bolster is about a palm width away from the wall, and it's just the top of the sacrum which is being supported rather than the whole sacrum. So I'm going to swing round into Viparita Karani, positioning the bolster just so it supports the top of the sacrum. The tailbone is like closer to the wall, and the lumbar spine is, as it were, flowing down off the top of the sacrum. And I'm going to rest the legs into the wall. So we're coming into a resting inversion pose. So the pace, well, the initial part of the session was fairly, that were fast and furious. Now coming into stillness, okay, and resting with the legs up. So if this doesn't work for you, then you can come into lying down completely on the floor, for example, with the knees supported. Once you're into the position, a sense of broadening the upper back, which we were emphasizing a little bit at the beginning of the session. So a sense of space between the shoulder blades, across the chest, across the collarbones. Releasing your neck. And allowing the legs to really rest here. So quite a lot of leg work to begin with. Sense of the backs of the arms resting onto the floor. So we're going to stay here for the next few minutes. I'd like to close your eyes. Sense of checking in with your mood again. Sense of the, as it were, your mind state, mental state. And being aware of the impact of that sequence on your body, on your energy. And again, a sense of surrendering to the floor, of not efforting. So a really important part of our practice in terms of yoga and meditation. In fact, everything that we're doing in our practice is a period of not doing. So the image, one image which I found really helpful some years back was when I really didn't know what to do, like thinking too much about the next move, as it were, the next thing to do. Was somebody just suggested to me, just sit, as it were, with the hands open, a sense of receptivity, and just see what arises. So this is the phase of practice which we could call not doing, which we habitually end our practice sessions with a few minutes of just being receptive, just receiving, not doing. The vital part of our practice, of our lives, and often it's easy to kind of overlook it. Yeah, so it's worth ironically trying to program in some not doing, some just being receptive. And seeing what arises. So from there, I'd like you to allow your legs to drift away from the wall, and you're going to roll or move away from the wall, roll to one side. I suggest we come up into a seated position. We'll just sit for a few moments into meditation pose. And see if we can bring this quality of not doing into your meditation pose. It's a practice known as just sitting. So the eyes can be open, they can be closed, whatever is appropriate for you. Allowing your body just to be still for a few minutes. Just being, not doing. And in this position, in this place, we can allow our senses to open, to a sense of wide open awareness, awareness of the sounds around us, aware of the space around us, the temperature, the room, time of the day. Connecting with your breath. With each in-breath, a sense of breathing in the world around you. And with each out-breath, a sense of giving, a sense of loving the world around you, appreciating. So breathing in the world, sense of appreciating without each out-breath. You do feel free to carry on meditating for a few moments with this idea of taking in the world, appreciating the world around you. Or simply being, simply sitting for a few moments. Thank you very much, and see you in a couple of weeks.